So you're thinking about buying a home, and so you have to determine what that home ownership, what you actually need in that home, what you're looking for, the benefits that would be going that come along with home ownership, the pride of ownership, the stability of the location, financial benefits in terms of like purchasing this asset and increasing your net worth as you continue to pay off that mortgage, deducting property taxes and mortgage interest, assuming that you're itemizing your taxes, right? Itemizing your deductions, if you will. So a potential increase in the value of your home, hopefully it goes up. Building equity in that home by paying off the mortgage, if you will. Again, you'd have more flexibility in living in a home, and you will be able to decorate to your heart's content, hopefully, depending upon, the cost, etc. All the things that kind of go along with that as well. So back once again to our cycle. First, we're trying to determine what we need out of the home and evaluating the owning your own place of residence, assessing the type of housing units available, calculate the amount you can afford. All right, these are things that you have to have in your mind before you walk in to actually, make that purchase. So the next thing you would want to select a location, and of course, to begin with, it would be on your own. Hopefully, you can kind of check areas out and do your own research. But ultimately, you probably would want to turn to a real estate agent, someone with some expertise in that area, and not just in real estate, but again, in the area that we're talking about. You'd want to go through and do home inspections, et cetera, to make sure that the home is ship-shape, right? Determine the appropriate market price, negotiate on an agreement price. This is that back and forth, the negotiation part that comes into play after this inspection, of course, that we're talking about. And in the same all these are flowing together at the same time, keeping that in mind. So you figure out obtaining financing for the home, if you will, determining the amount of your down payment, investigating the rates and conditions of mortgages, et cetera, applying for the mortgages and evaluate the types of mortgages that might be available to you. The terms, 10-year, 15, 20, 30, 30-year mortgage, traditional mortgage, the fixed rate mortgage, the adjustable rate mortgage, all the different things that kind of go along with that. And finally, for phase 5 is close the purchase transaction, arrange for closing dates, obtain funds and documents, request clarification of anything that's unclear involving the transaction. Closing documents are now well above 100 pages. So it's very time consuming, it's a very arduous process, purchasing or selling a home. So yeah, there are downsides to owning a home. So financial uncertainty, your own financial uncertainty or financial uncertainty in general, obtaining money for that down payment, qualifying for the mortgage, changing property values. Are they going to go up? Are they going to go down? Is this a neighborhood that's pretty solid, or is it prone to change in a bad way or a good way? Things to kind of keep in mind because you'll be stuck there for a period of time. It may be difficult to sell your home quickly. You have higher living costs than otherwise would be the case because of the mortgage that you're paying, right? And the taxes and the utilities, etc. There are home improvements that would be involved, typical maintenance, repairs, and as if the value of your home goes up, sounds good, but you also would end up with higher real estate taxes as a result, rise in real estate taxes. So you assess the types of housing that's available to you, whether you're talking about a single family dwelling, multi-unit dwelling like a condo type of an arrangement or a cooperative, duplex, townhouses, condominiums again, to whatever your needs are that would be to meet those needs, right? That this is what you're trying to kind of figure these things out as you're kind of going forward. So housing construction, it could be a manufactured home. Manufactured home are typically what we would call a mobile home, but they become quite, some are quite lovely and quite large, so far as the sizes are concerned. As much as a couple thousand square feet or more. But again, typically they're less than about 1,000 square feet that we're talking about with mobile homes. But the prefab homes, components that are built in the factory and assembled at the housing site. Some are quite large, and but that does in general keep your cost down rather than building the home on site. It would be assembling the home on site, right? Actually building a home, so going the next step when you have a contractor that actually puts together a home for you, it can become quite complicated. It could take quite a bit of time. You want to make sure that that you have a good contractor. And how do you make sure you have a good contractor? By oftentimes, unfortunately, it comes down to experience, and but you do the best you can to try to find somebody that you can work with, that you can deal with, and because you're going to have a relationship with this contractor, the builder, if you will, over a period of time as the home is actually being built. There are always delays involved and different steps involved in the process of actually having a home built. And so it's the nice part about it, of course, is that you get a nice brand new home when it's done, but the not so wonderful part of it is the actual process of getting that home built, and the costs that would be associated with it are typically higher, and you might run into issues where the cost actually go up even further in the process, right? So all things to kind of keep to consider. So what we're again kind of backing up, you're trying to figure out how much of a home that you can actually afford. Not you want to see what is the right fit for you. So the price, and is the down payment reasonable for you? Are you able to make those monthly payments? The interest rates, are they reasonable to the point where it's affordable? All of these things kind of come into play, and things to not forget is that there are taxes involved, and there could be some insurance, and insurance payments that go along with that, and there are some other fees, et cetera, that could come into play that we'll talk to as we kind of go forward. But a lot of different things are going on. So the first thing you want to do, of course, is to be pre-qualified. And pre-qualified for the home, meaning how much of a home that you could actually buy, so on and so forth. So you walk in the door and that you're in the right market, if you will, right? Depending upon the size and the quality of the home, et cetera, the purchase, what you can afford. Your second or third home can include more desired features. Handyman specials, they require more work, but they come at a lower price. The higher price, of course, comes in the form of your own sweat equity that would be put into reworking the property, et cetera. So then finding and evaluating. So this is all the legwork up front: finding and evaluate the property to purchase, selecting location. Very, very important. Be aware of zoning laws to make sure that you're not next to like a commercial section where someone could put up a factory right next to your home. Things to keep in mind: make sure that the school is up to snuff for you, not just for your children, but also for resale value. Is very important. School systems. Opt for a real estate agent eventually, and probably early on in the process as you can, so that you can hone in on the properties that would probably make the most sense for you. They would present the offer for you, negotiate price, assist in obtaining financing, and represent you at the closing. So they are working for you, right? Conducting a home inspection or hire an inspector. This is absolutely critical. Lenders also typically require an appraisal. That's pretty much always the case. This home inspection piece that we're talking about, this is where you hire someone to go through the home inside and out. The actual construction of the building, the exterior construction, exterior facilities, if you've got a garage, and conditions of whatever it might be, the driveways, the patio, porch, etc. Everything that's out there, including like drainage system, to make sure that you're not buying a home that's going to flood out as soon as you walk in the door after the first rainfall. So this is all part of that home inspection. There are people that are qualified for doing this, and on the interior, they would be the home inspector would, go through everything from electrical, plumbing, etc., and making sure that appliances are in good working order. Your furnace, your air conditioning unit, your water heater, etc., condition of the actual your attic, and to make sure that there has been any leaking if you buy a building with a basement or not. So they would go do a thorough downtown job on it. And when they come back after the home inspection, they tell you if there are issues. And if there are issues, that's where, again, continue on with the negotiation. So on we go. So now we're moving on to the home buying process itself, away from renting, looking at actually purchasing a home. So determining the price of the property is very, very important. Consider the selling prices that are out there. There are numerous websites such as Zillow, Redfin, etc., where they give the value of surrounding homes and so on and so forth. If the house is actually listed, how long it's been out there, indicating all the options, the features of the home, etc. You'll make an offer in the form of a purchase agreement, meaning when what the negotiated price, the purchase price that you want, that you are willing to sign up for, if you will, right? So if you negotiate that, from that point, you're negotiating a purchase price, and from that, there's a counter offer. And if you opt to actually, go forward, you would put down a deposit, if you will, an earnest money, as it's referred to. And where there are contingency clauses, such as, the buyer must be able to obtain financing. This is a critical aspect of it. Sale perhaps may be contingent on the sale of the buyer's current home, so that you're not carrying two mortgages at the same time. All these other stipulations that would be involved with this as well.